Holy moly, guys. We're seeing another nasty day in the market, specifically at some of the stocks that I cover quite a bit that a lot of people watch. We're seeing Apple just get hammered after hours, down, as of recording this, about 7%. It's going down to the lows that we had not too long ago here. I thought we maybe found a bottom, but just getting crushed. Tesla getting crushed today. So again, what's going on today? Oh, it's being kind of nasty, especially for Apple if you're an Apple shareholder. So the big news, if you haven't heard about it, is that Apple actually sent a letter out to its shareholders. Tim Cook specifically cited a slowdown in China. Now, as I told you guys in my last video, the revenue guidance for Q1 next year was 89 to 93 billion, which is amazing. I mean, this new number is amazing too, but they're now saying $84 billion instead of this range of 89 to 93 billion dollars. Now, this is very strange for Apple. I mean, Apple usually is pretty conservative on their guidance. They're usually hitting the mid end or, somewhere around the top end of it, and they never come out like this and just change it. So they're citing, a slowdown in China, an unexpected slowdown in China. I believe that this probably has a lot to do with trade wars, things like that, right? So this is definitely very concerning, but like I said to you guys before, these are great opportunities. I thought that maybe we'd found some support around the level that we're at right now, but it looks like this wasn't discounted into the market. I figured that all of this kind of news would be already discounted into the stock because it's just be negative, 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 right guys? We expect a slowdown in Q1. There's all this geopolitical tension, but apparently not because it's just getting hammered after hours. So no idea what's going to happen with this one. But one of the key things that I wanted to keep in mind here is that, has Apple fallen before in terms of revenue growth in China? And the answer is yes, they've always struggled in China. I mean, let's take a look here at 2015, 2016, and 2017. Apple was declining in China. If you go further back, they've had even more difficulties, right? So it's just recently that Apple started kind of getting some inroads in China. So is it surprising that might fall next year? Absolutely not, especially with these trade tensions. What is a bit surprising though is that they're kind of, this statement that came out and this not anticipating this drop, like that's not very like Apple. So that's a bit scary, of course. But the bottom line is, and I've said this before to you guys as well, Apple has so many options. Even if we look at the worst case scenario being it's going to fall in China. It's going to fall in China. The iPhone market is saturated. They're going to have to bring down their ASPs. They have over $237 billion in cash. They are just enormous. They have so many options that if you're seeing a company, like I've said many times to you guys, trading at this multiple, with this much cash, this much opportunity, over, some concerns that I don't think are that, justified in some cases and that are a little bit overblown, that's a good investment. But like I said to you guys before, I mean, don't just take my advice. Do your own research. What's right for me might not be right for you. But I'm just telling you my opinion that this is just another unreal opportunity, especially if Apple falls even further. Because we don't know what's going to come out of Q1 here. And now the market is expecting 84 billion or maybe even less in revenue in the first quarter. So like I said, bottom line, Apple has many, many options. But this was some pretty intense news that came out about Apple today, and like I said, we're just seeing it get crushed. My opinion still stays the same. Long-term investment, if you're going to look at Apple 10 years, maybe even longer, where are you going to be at? Think of it that way. That's how I invest. In terms of Tesla, we saw some bad news with Tesla as well. The Q4 deliveries of the Model 3 actually dropped in Q4 here. And also on top of that, we saw them take $2,000 off the price. Now they're saying that they're doing this to combat the tax credits. Now I've talked about this in my other video before, and this is why I'm very hesitant on Tesla. This is going to drop to zero soon. So as of January 1st, it was $7,500. This is in the US, the tax credit you get for buying an electric vehicle. But it's dropped now. In January, it was $7,500. Now in January, it's dropped to $3,750, and then it's going to end up going to zero this year. Now, a lot of people make the argument that that's not really going to impact Tesla because it's, a luxury manufacturer. But I mean, now they're driving into, trying to go on the lower end with the Model 3, the competition coming out. These are all scary things. And I talked about this in one of my other videos. So it's definitely just something to keep in mind. And this was definitely something, the Q4 deliveries, that hammered the stock today. I also just wanted to mention with Tesla here that the competition, is that I actually own the stock, right? I mean, the competition is an issue that I see, a huge issue. Because I was actually even just watching a documentary last night on Audi's electric SUV that came out, and it looks phenomenal. And I believe that Tesla still has the first mover advantage, and they also have the advantage in terms of their technology. I think the self-driving technology is amazing. But that's definitely something that I worry about. But I will, disclose to you guys, I obviously own Tesla, I own Apple as well. I do own some Tesla because I believe that you have to be in this space, and I think there's some room to run with Tesla just because they're going to be coming out with new products, and little blips like this, might not make the difference too much. But overall, it was just it wasn't that nasty of a day in the market, but if you were in some of the technology companies, aftermarkets here, it felt pretty nasty. So this I think is overblown, like I said before. Do your own research, but if it drops further, if it goes into the 140s, the 130s, oh my god, it's so cheap, guys. Tesla, I'm just going to hold on to it. I would like to kind of liquidate it if I make a little bit of money because of the competition coming in, but I still am a shareholder. So I wanted to give you guys a quick update today on what was going on in case you're wondering. It'll be a very interesting day tomorrow to see what happens. Is Apple going to continue to tank? Is Tesla going to go down tomorrow more off this news? Who knows? But I just wanted to let you guys know what's going on. Anyway, that's going to be it for today, guys. And I'll see you in the next one.